Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi, how are you? Alrighty, on today's show, we're going to be talking about energy flow. A lot of times we say, heat rises. Well, actually, that's wrong. It's actually hot air that rises. Heat, according to our second law of thermodynamics, heat moves from high temperature to low. Just like air pressure moves from a higher concentration to a lower concentration. That's why the air forces out of a balloon really quick when you pop it with a pen. Same thing with water. Water moves from higher altitude to lower altitude. Same thing with energy.
You do realize I'm just nodding.
Yeah, that's okay. No, you're nodding because you get this. You get this.
I know, but
same thing with energy.
You sound like Sheldon on Big Bang, but anyway.
Same thing. Oh, wow. Don't tell me that. No, that's my dude, too. I love him.
Okay, anyway, go on.
But same thing with energy. Energy flows from those higher concentrations to lower concentrations. And that's really what we want to try and go into today. If you remember from our previous discussion in the first episode, we talked about energy and recognizing existence and acknowledging that and embracing it. We also talked a little bit about the absorption and vibration and how we need to be able to take energy in. Well, this time now in this episode, we want to talk about what we're going to do with that energy when we take it in. We got to be able to utilize it to do work.
For the better.
Yeah, and obviously you want that to be for the positive, work. You can do work. The choice is yours on what you do with it and the energy that you take in. The choice is yours on what you do with it. You can do some pretty dirty work with it. You don't want to do that. That's contributing to the negativity. And again, that's why we're doing the show that we're doing. We're trying to actually literally combat that by emulating and emitting this positive energy and kind of pushing that out to the rest of the world. So that's really what we want to go into today. Just like how we said things vibrate, and we get the energy from our environment. We want to today take in that energy and learn how to move it to the areas.
And it's absorbed in very different ways, and depending on the individual themselves, it's absorbed various ways. Definitely not the same each time.
So now, as we said, the high concentration to low, kind of stores inside us. Where does that energy store inside us? Well, that's what we're going to go into next with the idea of the chakras. You see me, I'm going to be referring to my notes quite a bit. You got to make sure we keep organized here. But again, energy amasses in certain areas of your body aligned among what's called a meridian in your body. That's basically like your center line, from the crown of your head all the way down to your tailbone. It's all the way down your spine, front and back. You do have other energy portals because that's really what those are. Energy gets stored up in each one of those chakras. In the first episode we talked about chi, and that being the life force. That's the energy that's getting stored up there for living beings.
Has to have a nice balance. This is where the whole balance
comes
in.
That's where the balance thing comes in. Sometimes, through our activities, the energy gets stored up in chakras and it gets built up too much.
Blocked. So hence
sometimes,
the whole three spheres, the family and work and your personal.
There's a imbalance. And one of the great things that I learned about balance, I posted it the other day. Balance is about falling out of center and then returning to center.
Well, I've been falling out a lot of
so
times.
if you're falling out of center, then first thing you need to do is, acknowledge that. Oh, wait a minute, I'm falling out of center. And then you embrace that. Okay, I'm out of center. Let me embrace that and now try and return to center.
Align.
And that's really what the restoring and maintaining that equilibrium is about. But we do that by moving the energy through the chakras. So before I go into the chakras and how we go about restoring that balance, Marcia, you want to add anything else with what we're talking about?
Well, energy can be absorbed very differently per person, clearly. As an empath, no experience is the same, which I've already said. Sometimes it's just simply being around a certain family or friends that just have this negative aura, this negative, it's best to say a negative feeling that you get. You've got to trust that, trust your inner compass, because that can be completely draining, could lead to those blockages. Then when you have extra, I'm trying to think, other energies such as when you have spirits around you, they show themselves in various different ways. We can go on another time about that. They make you feel very edgy or very loopy, and it's only for a short period of time. And then if you're very sensitive to that. So, but I know a lot of people, the biggest issue is the whole family and friends and that balance. But you said the sweet spot between the three spheres.
That's correct.
So.
And just to add to what Marcy was saying in regard to the spiritual, because again, that's a side of energy.
And that's debatable for some people, but it's energy, there.
Well, yeah, I'll tell you, it's real.
It's real.
Spirit world is real. I'm not gonna deny that one.
Too many instances.
But again, that is a form of energy as well that impacts us in this temporal world that we live in. So you need to be able to make sure you understand that, hey, I'm being impacted by other energies outside of me, and I have to be able to maintain the sense of balance.
Control, and control is
so
huge.
That you're actually in control of you a little bit more, as well as making sure that you're flowing according to what's going on with the universe, that you're not resisting all the time. Yeah. That's where you run into stuff.
And then when you get out of your comfort zone, you grow, which goes into the more logical side of things as well.
Before I go into the thing with the chakras, one of the things that I learned, and this is about energy absorption, one of the things that I learned about absorbing energy is you really can't resist what you're going into. You actually have to open yourself up and embrace it and allow it to flow over you.
Can I just...
Oh, share your cap. Yes, please. We were talking about this earlier.
Yesterday, I found these Mama Chia drinks, and they're just phenomenal. They have, like, chia seeds and everything. And at the top of the cap, they always have this little, like, statement or question. And I'm sorry, just when you said opening, it just reminds me. It says, what opens your heart? What opens your heart? And it's just so cute. Yeah. What opens yours?
For me... what opens my heart is the genuine love that I end up expressing to others, and it gets given back to me. Quite honestly, that really opens it up.
Authenticity and genuineness, and quite honestly, doing my creative. And I love my family, but the creative is like frees my soul. So yeah, but okay, sorry,
that's all right.
So
that's
random.
All right. Like I was saying, I ride my bicycle a lot. It's for me a good pastime. It allows me to clear my thoughts about a lot of things when I'm working. But it's also very good exercise. In riding my bicycle, I usually run into the wind, and I usually struggle against the wind.
No, I can't resist
One time I said, you know what? I'm not going to do that. I typically ride no-handed. That's the best way for me to ride. It keeps my balance and also works my legs very well. Turning corners and everything. If I have to brake, I'll just stop pedaling and slow down. But if I have to stop, obviously, I gotta grab on it. Yeah, but typically I'm going to ride no-handed. So this one day that I opted to not resist against the wind and fight, but just simply open myself up, I allowed the wind to pass over my body, and you'd be shocked. I made the best time that I ever ride, and I ride a pretty decent distance. In a half an hour, I'm going to clip off at least about probably 2-3 miles, pretty easily. This was 21 minutes. I couldn't believe it. Normally my ride is usually about 27. But I couldn't. I said, wow. I said, I'm going to have to try this again. And I went on a longer route. My longer route is usually about 30 minutes. This one, 26 minutes. I said, you've got to be kidding me. So I knew, okay, the absorption of that, same thing that happens in the shower. When you get in the shower and you let the water run over you, don't you feel so good?
Yeah.
That's because you're not resisting what's there. You're just letting it flow over you, and all of the water, that's energy. Water is a natural element. You absorb energy from it. Is passing over you, and the energy is being absorbed into you from your crown. A nice transition and segue into the chakras. From your crown all the way down. If you're standing right underneath the shower, note I have a bald head, so it really comes in great. Feels
and that's
great
where
when
I
it comes
sea
down.
salt too, because sea salt's such a pure mineral. So back to the whole topic of negative energies, which we'll go into another time. But sea salt being so pure of an element, if you shower with it, it's supposed to take away basically any of the toxicities that you have around you in your thoughts. That's more of an affirmation from you, but it truly works. And speaking too of your whole not going against things, this sounds like my mornings every day with my kids. I have videos to prove it.
Gotta try and go with the flow.
I know, I do. I really do say, okay, you know what? I'm not dealing with this. I'm not entertaining this. Okay, you do what you want. You be late for camp. That's fine. Like,
it's
that's
okay.
it.
Yeah, it's okay.
That's real
what
life.
I'm saying lately. It's okay. And that's okay. Okay, so the chakras, because you need to know where these things are and where the energy gets stored up. They run along the meridian. Again, the first one up top is called your crown. Then here you have your vision. Sometimes we refer to it as the third eye. Here you have your throat chakra. Communication. Here is your heart. That's your bridge between the upper and then in your lower. You have your solar plex. Below that you have your navel or sacral. And then below that you have your base chakra, which is down by your tailbone. Ironically, they follow the colors of the spectrum as well. Roy G. Biv, if you remember that from early science class when you were
I wasn't paying attention.
Roy G. Biv is the colors of the spectrum or the rainbow and
you're like chock full of knowledge.
When you see a rainbow in the sky, that's what happens.
I know, but you're like a chock full of knowledge.
The sunlight hits a raindrop, and the light refracts, and bang, it breaks off into the spectrum.
I think I was doodling on my notepad.
But Roy G did. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue,
purple,
indigo,
right?
violet.
Yeah, indigo.
All right?
Yeah.
All right, those are the colors. Red is the base, orange straight on up, violet up top. Now, if you really get that Kundalini rising, you get that true awakening and ascension, you'll actually have all of the colors in the spectrum in one, and
in line.
They'll flow out and around you in your aura, and the light that comes straight out would be white. But that's a really, really heavy...
That takes a while to get there. I'm still working on it.
So what you do is the energy gets stored up in different chakras. Let's say I am a very talkative person, as you noticed.
Speaker. Very good speaker.
All right, so my throat chakra may get built up pretty heavy. I'll have to move the energy that's here down to my heart because that's my bridge, and preferably to my eye. But as you see, I'm wearing glasses, so my eyes don't work too well. At least the ones that I'm using in my head. But that's what you would want to do, and then move it from the heart, down.
And it's a process. It's like envisioning. Correct. It's a process. It's really getting in tune with things.
It's done through meditation. It can also be done through exercises. I mentioned Qigong. That's one of the exercises that you can do. Yoga is another you can do. Tai Chi is another that you can do. There are several different types of disciplines that you can use physically to move your energy around into various different chakras. If you can't do that, let's say you're not adept at that, then there are other people that you can go to. There are other things that you can use. For example, Reiki. You can go to a Reiki master, and the Reiki master will use his hands. Inside your palms, you have energy portals, smaller ones, inside the bottom part of your, right above your calf and the back of your leg. Right? You can go to an acupuncturist, same thing. Acupressurist, same thing. They know how to move that energy to the various different portals where it needs to go.
Mine always gets stuck up here. Yeah. I think I see the good in everything a little too much. Sometimes, it gets stuck and I have to, move it around.
Even Feng Shui. We talk about the environment and absorbing energy from your environment. If you, go and practice Feng Shui, creating an environment that, leads to a sense of balance and tranquility internally as well as externally. You get that, again, what happens is the vibration that you're giving off and the vibration of the environment are the same. So you're like, you're in sync. There you go. That's why when people say, I like your vibe, that's what they mean. They feel that vibe and they understand it. You'll hear me say that. I can dig it.
That's why they also say that your vibe, your energy is the first thing that introduces yourself rather than... you being like, hello,
So, with that, we've given you quite a few different ways that you can, move the energy around through your chakras. Just making sure that you pay attention to the energy flow.
And we can go in the process a little more. I mean, it gets
correct.
A little
we're going to go a bit more in depth in the
or maybe we can do
episodes.
Tips and stuff like that because it's really in depth and it's really, you got to be very focused. You can't have your crazy kids running around like I do.
On our website, when we put it up, which is going to be, naturally, of course, after we launch, we're going to actually put some how-to stuff together as well, some pamphlets, some links to send you to different areas where you can do stuff on your own. We're about the empowerment of each other, so the sharing of information, and again, all of this stuff is free.
And bringing in that sweet spot, that balance, and controlling
and finding
your own.
that for yourself. I can't tell you what your sweet spot is. She can't tell me what mine is. I can't tell her what hers is. You have to determine that for yourself. But by all means, if I can give you the information that will lead you on the appropriate journey to discover that, I'm obligated to share.
Hence the Positive Energy Podcast.
It creates that
three spheres,
space.
All that energy, whether it's you're flowing it back and forth, or it's just your energy that other people are putting out that you just don't want to be in the same company with. All that relates to those three spheres we keep talking about, and that's what he was talking about. The sweet spot makes you happy.
Again, a beautiful segue because next week when we do our next episode, we're actually going to be going into the three spheres and how to, coalesce and fuse all of this together, the stuff that we're talking about with energy and vibration and energy flow and, moving energy in your chakras. Well, how do I fuse all of that together in my three spheres?
Yeah.
We're going to go into that a bit in depth and we're going to debunk one of those myths that we tend to live under as people. That's going to be interesting and fun. I'm not gonna give you the myth yet, but
no.
Just make sure you tune in.
And definitely give us feedback, because your stories are really important to us too, because I'm sure we've all had some common underlying thread there that we can all talk about. So.
Yes, we really want your feedback. Leave a feedback post on Facebook for us,
or
so
IM,
that we know,
whatever's
convenient
or
for you.
Or text if you haven't have our numbers.
Our contact information will be there. Correct. Text me if you have my number. You know how I am. I always respond. Please, let us know important. Because we want to create the space for you as well.
Thank you.
In the meantime, keep the energy positive.
Love light energy.
Love light energy.